Good morning, dear children. Myself, Tanushri Burman. I am here to teach you something, to share some views on literature, language. So, let's have a beginning. Before we start with anything formal education, let us take about a general discussion, a general topic. Now, since you all are aware that because of this coronavirus, we are in a very bad situation, and in this pandemic there is a trend going on. If you all, I think you all are aware of it. In this pandemic there are a new trend is coming up. Everybody, the person who has never cooked in his life has started cooking, making new dishes. They are coming up with something very extraordinary, and we are at a shock. A person who never enters a kitchen is coming up with such delicious foods. Is it really they got an opportunity? They got a chance to boost up their hobby. So in general, if we talk in general, every person has some or the other hobbies. Due to this fast moving world, we don't have that much time to give to our hobbies. We are not able to pay attention to our hobbies. We are not able to attribute that much of time to our hobbies. There are n number of hobbies. We see the trends now on the social medias, may it be WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is. N number of people are cooking dishes, they are doing dancing, singing, n number of activities are there. Something extraordinary, or if you talk of some out of the bucket, then I have found some people coming up with gardening. It is exclusive. Of course, it is not very common because everybody cannot do gardening, and it is not a cup of tea for everyone. It is not a cup of tea for everyone to plant trees. Very few of them have that knowledge. Very few have the knowledge of the entire team, and they have a love for that system, for the planting of trees. Now, if basically I talk about trees, how much trees are important in our life? Of course, trees are our life. I give a full stop over here. Trees are our life. With anything we start, see, we are living a very lavish lifestyle. But how is it possible? It is possible only and only because of the nature. Nature. Next thing I would like to focus is nature, which we generally ignore. Nature, which is very important in today's world. If nature is existing, nature is happy, then we can survive in this ecosystem. This point we have to understand very well. So that is, we have to give importance to nature, we have to give importance to trees. Trees are our life. Many things which are coming at our place, at our houses, comes from trees. Many industries are based on agriculture, that is called as agro-based industries. Means the backbone of everything is trees. We have to give importance to trees. Now, the poet Henry Bunner has very beautifully explained this theme through the poem The Heart of the Tree. The heart of the tree. Now, let's take a glance, a little bit information about Henry Bunner. ठीक है ना, कचरा नहीं लिख रहा है ना? ओके, मैं स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ. ओके, now if we talk about the poet Henry Bunner. Henry Bunner was born in New York on August 3, 1851. He got popularity through the editor of the humorous magazine Puck. He died on 11th May 1896. He is an American poet, dramatist, novelist. So he had achieved great contributions. He have given great contributions to this literary world. So this is his basic information about Henry Bunner. Now if we see the poem in short, now the title of the poem is very apt. The heart of the tree. See, since the entire poem deals with the tree, the concept of the tree, the benefits of planting the tree, that is why the tree is used in the heading. Apart from that, the heart of the tree, your heart word is given lot of stress and lot of importance. The heart of the tree means what kind of heart a tree is having. Tree is having very kind and generous heart, because whenever a tree is producing fruits, it will not discriminate against anyone. It will not discriminate while giving its treasures to the people. Trees will never say that you are rich or you are poor. If you are rich, then only you can treasure my fruits. A tree will never say like that. That's why it has a very kind and generous heart. A tree is very tolerant, which is not there in human beings. So these are the different qualities which we can learn from trees. Now we will just have a quick glance in short about the poem. Now in this poem, the poet Henry Bunner has given the benefits. He has mentioned the benefits of planting a tree, and how does the person who plants a tree benefits the whole nation. Okay, the benefits of planting a tree, this point is being focused. Trees provide us with shade and shelter. Okay, then shelter for many birds, that is why they have mentioned shelter. Shade of course for human beings as well as for animals. Then a person who plants a tree now, he is actually planting for a future. Now suppose today if I plant a mango tree, okay, maybe I am at the age of suppose 60, 55 or 60. Now when I am at the age of 55 or 60, I cannot expect the mango tree to grow up in another 1 or 2 years and bear me the fruits. Of course, the fruits of that trees will be enjoyed, will be treasured by my children, by my grandchildren. That means I am creating a cord between me and my next generation. That is planting for the future. So indirectly the poet wants to say the person who is planting a tree, he is planting for a future. Okay. Then symbolic act of goodness. The person who is planting a tree, actually he is doing an act of goodness. It is a symbolic act of goodness. Now when we do something good, of course good will come return to us. So like that, this act of goodness, if you do something good, of course something good will be returned to us by the nature. Then it is told that it is relevant in recent world to current world. Even though this poem was written somewhere in 80s, but that time there was not a lot of pollution problem, environmental degradation problem, but today if we see, we have these problems. Even though this poem was written in that time, but still it is relevant even today, because today, because of urbanization and many other reasons, because of rapid development, we are taking the environment to a toss. So these are the general things which the poet discusses in the poem in detail. I hope the background of the poem is very clear. Now let us discuss the part. Okay, now the poem is divided into 3 paragraphs. Okay, 3 stanzas. Each stanza of 9 lines each. Now 9 lines, the stanza which is of 9 lines is called as Spenserian stanza. It is called as Spenserian stanza. See, I have written over here Spensarian. The poem, the stanza which consists of 9 lines is known as Spenserian stanza. And the rhyme scheme used in the poem is A, B, A, B, B, C, C, A, A. This is a rhyme scheme used in the poem, and this rhyme scheme is used to create the rhythm and music in the poem. And figures of speech, if we talk about, poet has used, you can say, personification, okay, has used alliteration, okay. So these are the figures of speech used in the poem. So I have explained you in detail, in short you can say, the background of the poem. Okay, now I think let's have a glance at the poem line by line, and I'll give you the explanation. The Heart of the Tree by Henry Bunner. What does he plant? Who plants a tree? Now, in every stanza, first line, the poet starts the first line with a question. What does he plant? Who plants a tree? And he asks this question at the beginning of every stanza, and he himself answers the question in the remaining part of his stanza. Now see, what does he plant? Who plants a tree? He plants a friend of sun and sky. Now he is telling a friend of sun and sky. Sun and sky because trees reduces the air temperature and it purifies the air. That is why it is called as a friend of sun and sky. And it also protects the earth from the scorching heat of the sun. That is why it is called as a friend of sun and sky. He plants the flag of breezes free. The person who is planting the tree, he actually plants a flag of breezes free. Now if we see, the flag is like this, isn't it? And this part of the flag flies in the air. So like that, if I consider the tree, okay, this is my pole and this part is my flag. Okay, so the person who is planting the trees, he is planting the flag of breezes high. Means because of this trees, there is ample of breeze, there is ample of air. The shaft of beauty towering high. The shaft, this part of flag pole is called as shaft. And of the tree, it is this part, the trunk of the tree you can call it. Okay, or the main branch, main thing of the tree, where the roots are uprooted. Okay, this part of the tree is called as the shaft. So the shaft of beauty towering high. So this is the beauty, this is shaft is of beauty and this is rising high. For song, he plants a home to heaven anigh. So a person who is planting a tree, he actually plants a home to heaven. Anigh means very close to heaven, anigh means very close to, and heaven means of course where there are more and more number of trees, that time we call that place itself will become a heaven. Then for song and mother croon of bird, so the trees will become a home for whom? For the birds. For song and mother croon of bird in hushed and happy twilight heard. So for the birds who sing in silent and twilight, twilight means evening time. So the birds when they will sing in the silent and evening time, that time it will be very soothing for us. There will be peace, harmony and comfort all over the world. That is why he is saying for song and mother croon of bird in hushed and happy twilight heard. The treble of heaven's harmony, these things he plants who plants a tree. So the treble means the tone, the high pitch of heaven's harmony. Everywhere being on earth you will feel like that you are there in heaven. The heavenly treasures will be enjoyed by the people, those who are there on earth, only and only because of trees. And this is possible only because of the person who plants those trees. So I think you are very much clear with the first stanza. So in the first stanza, the poet is asking the question in the first line, what does he plant? Who plants a tree? And he himself is answering the questions, because the person who plants a tree, he is planting a friend of sun and sky. He is planting a tree where the tree will give the breezes. He gives a home. He provides, a person who is planting a tree will provide a home for many birds who will continuously keep on singing in a very sweet voice, and we human beings will treasure those sweet voice, and that sweet voice will give peace, harmony and comfort to our souls. So these are the advantages of planting a tree. The poet is mentioning in the first stanza. I think the things are very much clear in the first stanza. Now we'll move to the second stanza. What does he plant who plants a tree? Again the poet is asking the question, what does he plant who plants a tree? He plants cool shade and tender rain. Of course the trees gives us shade. The trees gives us rain. They bring rain for the earth. They give us cool shade in the when it is the scorching heat of the sun, the rays of the sun are falling on the earth and human beings are not able to bear the sunlight. That time trees provide us with shade. It brings rain on the earth. And seed and bud of days to be. They bring more and more seeds. The seeds which sprout again and will multiply into n number of trees. And bud of days to be. Bud means the flowers, the buds which will bloom in the times to come. And years that fade and flush again. So there will be years in the future, if they are fading, if the trees are dying again, they will come up with the new trees. That is why it is telling fade and flush again. They will fade but brighten up again. He plants the glory of the plain. The plain is decorated. It is having the cosmetic look only when there are n number of trees beautifying the plain. So he is saying he plants the glory of the plain. He plants the forest heritage, the harvest of a coming age. So maybe he is planting one tree now, but that trees will multiply and maybe it is converting into forest. And the trees which he is planting now, it is actually a treasure for the next generation. The next generation will treasure the fruits that are being given by the trees, the tree which is planted by the person today. So it creates a cord between the planter who is planting the trees today as well as the next generation. And by this we are creating a legacy for the next generation. The joy that unborn eyes shall see. Unborn eyes means the future children, those who are coming, those who will take birth in the future. Surely they will enjoy the treasure of these trees. These things he plants who plants a tree. So in the second stanza the poet is telling, first of all the tree will bring shade, rain, then seeds, buds. Then we will create a cord between this generation and the next generation. And we will create a legacy for the next generation. We will create a forest heritage. So these are the things a person does, a planter does when he plants a trees. Now I think the second stanza is also very much clear. Now we'll go to the third stanza. What does he plant who plants a tree? Again the poet is asking the same question. What does he plant who plants a tree? And see what is the answer given. He plants in sap and leaf and wood. Sap is a liquid part in a plant that carries food to the various parts of the plant. So he plants in sap and leaf and wood in love of home and loyalty. So through these different parts of the flower, he is instilling the values of love and loyalty which can be instilled in human beings by planting a tree. And Farkas thought of civic good. And indirectly he is doing welfare for his people. He is thinking of his people. He is thinking of the development of his people. The people are really enjoying the treasures of this tree, the pleasures of this tree. Okay, so this is creating a sense of duty towards the society. His blessings on the neighborhood. Of course, a person who is planting the tree, his neighbors will also benefit from those trees. So the neighbors will also be benefited. Who in the hollow of his hand holds all the growth of all our land. So in his hollow hand where he is carrying that tree and he is planting that tree, In his tiny hands, in only those two hands, he has the power of the growth and development of our country. A nation's growth from sea to sea stirs in his heart who plants a tree. A feeling arouses in his mind who plants a tree that surely because of these trees we will move towards the rapid growth and development. So a country can prosper when it has ample number of trees, ample number of agriculture, when we have enough of resources, natural resources, a country can surely develop. So these are the different benefits, may it be social, ecological, because of the trees, the ecological system is also balanced. There are scientific reasons also of planting a trees. There are qualities of love and loyalty also. A person learns the value of love and loyalty. A person thinks about others when he plants a trees. So these are the different qualities when a person tries to plant a tree. So these are the various benefits of planting a tree, which the poet has very beautifully mentioned in the poem The Heart of the Tree. And the title is very apt, because the heart of the tree, because the entire poem revolves around the tree, the benefits of the tree, and the heart is mentioned over here because the poet has mentioned what kind of heart the tree bears. Okay. So the heart of the tree is very kind, generous. It is not like the heart of the human beings who are very selfish, intolerant, those who have their own prejudices, problems, complaints. So the heart of the tree is totally different from the heart of the human beings, and there are a lot to learn from these trees. Okay children, now since we have seen the poem in detail, now we will just sum up what the poet exactly wants us to convey. Okay, first I have mentioned you why the title is very apt, the heart of the tree. Since the entire poem revolves around the tree, that is why the benefits of the tree, that is why it is tree, and the heart of the tree. Here the poet wants to emphasize again and again on the kind of heart the tree is bearing. The heart of the tree is very kind, very generous, not selfish, okay, but when we talk about human beings, the heart of human beings are very selfish, intolerant, they have their own complaints, they have their own prejudices. So this is the difference between the heart of a tree and a heart of a human beings. So the poet is indirectly trying to convey us that our heart should be like the heart of a tree. Apart from that, let's look at the information of the poet. It is written by Henry Bunner. Henry Bunner was born on August 3rd, 1851 in New York. He is a novelist, he is a dramatist, he has written n number of poems and contributed to the literary world. He became famous, he gained popularity through the editor of the humorous magazine Puck. He died on 11 May 1896, that means 1851 to 1896. Okay, then each stanza in this poem, the poem is entirely divided into 3 stanzas. Each stanza is of 9 lines, and the stanza which consists of 9 lines is called as Spenserian stanza. I repeat it, it is called as Spenserian stanza. The rhyme scheme used in the poem is A, B, A, B, B, C, C, A, A to create the rhythm and the music throughout the poem. Now, in short, we will see what are the contents of the poem. First, the poem wants to mention the benefits of the tree. N number of benefits are there, the trees are giving us, and we are treasuring those benefits. Trees provide us with shade and shelter, shade for animals as well as human beings and all the living creatures, okay, and shelter for, of course, for the birds and animals. Plant for a future. Now, when a person who is planting a tree, of course, he is not planting for himself. I had given this example. If I am at the age of 60, I am planting a mango tree. I cannot expect that it will bear fruits and I can enjoy the treasure of that plant. Of course, my next generation, my children and my grandchildren will enjoy those treasures in the future. So indirectly, I am trying to create a cord between me and my next generation. I am creating a legacy for my next generation. Then it is a symbolic act of goodness. Of course, the person who is planting a tree, that tree will surely benefit others. A sense of love and loyalty towards human beings is created when I am planting a tree. This symbolic act of goodness is there when I am planting a tree. Then even though this poem is written long time back in 1880s, now, but still it is relevant in today's world, because even today, due to industrialization and rapid growth and development, we are taking a toll to the environment, and environment is being harassed in number of ways. So somewhere or the other it is relevant because it teaches us a lot, because ultimately there is nothing in life more important than trees. Our life exists only and only because of trees. If trees are there, we are there. If trees are not there, we are not going to survive in this world. Even your agro-based industries, the primary source of raw materials for all the industries is agriculture only. So if we want development, our country will prosper, our country will develop only when we are having ample resources of agriculture and natural resources. So when we have these resources in abundance, in plenty, of course we will be rich, we will be able to help the other countries, we will have ample sources of development. We can develop when we have ample of natural resources and agriculture in our country. So finally, we only study one thing, that is the importance of trees. So in short, these are the different benefits of the tree which the poet has explained to us in detail. I hope all the things are very much clear in the poem.